The top 5 best fertilizer review for tomatoes recommendation. Recommendation number 1. JOBE'S Tomato Fertilizer Spike 618-6. These 3-come long spikes are perfect for container gardening. I used them around some potted cherry tomatoes, and the increased phosphorus resulted in large, scalloped leaves and strong stems to hold up all those long vines of tiny tomatoes. Even though I add compost to my potting soil, these plants typically use up all the inherent nutrients pretty quickly. But by adding a couple of JOBE'S spikes around your potted plants, you can expect an increase in flowering and fruit production for up to 8 weeks, with no runoff or waste and zero organic smells since the spikes are buried in the soil. Recommendation number 2. ESPOMA Tomato Tone Organic Fertilizer 346. ESPOMA Organic Tomato Tone, with its exclusive biotone formula, proved to be just the right NPK ratio to support ground-planted Roma tomatoes at each stage of growth. Regular applications right from the planting stage up until harvest resulted in healthy green foliage, abundant flowers, and vibrant fruit color, plus the added bonus of extra calcium to prevent bottom rot in case I overwatered a bit. Tomato Tone proved most effective when I worked it into the soil, 3 from the plant stem, and watered it in thoroughly. Considered a slow-release formula. Recommendation number 3. NEPTUNE'S Harvest Tomato and Veg Fertilizer 242. This relatively new option from NEPTUNE'S Harvest is organically formulated for tomatoes and many other vegetables that experience intense growth in various stages. Made with fish meal, seaweed, and humic acid, this low-ratio combination was perfect to use around my red beefsteak tomatoes. The soil here I amended with compost so this organic option didn't overwhelm my plants. The resulting thicker stalks were able to support much bigger or more vibrant tomatoes. The wider expanding roots and lush foliage allowed for optimum photosynthesis. Recommendation number 4. Dr. Earth Homegrown Tomato and Vegetable Fertilizer 463. My first pick from Dr. Earth is popular in organic gardening. With no synthetic or GMO ingredients, nutrients are naturally broken down by beneficial soil microbes and slow release to roots for absorption as they are needed. This is an ideal fertilizer to use for established tomato plants from stage 2 onwards, provided they are already planted in nutrient-rich soil. The low NPK proportions enabled me to use this on my tomato plants, but also as a general-purpose vegetable fertilizer as well, after a couple of applications on my heirloom tomatoes. Recommendation number 5. J.R. Peters Jack's Classic 12-15-30 Tomato Feed. Jack's Classic Feed is also well suited to those plants growing in less fertile soil but as a water-soluble option. Its 12-15-30 NPK offers increased proportions of all vital macronutrients to support health and vitality at each stage of growth. Because of these high percentages, I held off on adding more compost to the soil around my green beefsteak tomatoes. Then, I watered them every week with a dose of Jack's. The effects were visible within a few days due to the addition of magnesium, and the calcium prevented blossom rot on these large beauties.